There you go.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut with Brian Galke, and we're Aces 53. And I want to apologize for not being here on Tuesday. That was all my fault. I was so into vibe coding that I forgot where everything was and what time it was. I did both days, Monday and Tuesday, like 12-hour days.
Where am I?
Like, how much did you work on it? Well, it wasn't so much working. I just I had like 5 windows open at the same time and 5 different apps I was working on. And it was like, how can you do that? Easy. I just talk to this one, and I talk to this one, I talk to this one, and I talk to this one, and then I move on.
You're dating multiple AIs.
Yeah. As long as I'm nice to them, they all know about each other.
So sure, they do. That's what they all say.
All right, and you were at an event on Tuesday, so I don't want to hear it. So.
Yeah, no, this week I went to Vegas and crashed 2 different conventions for 2 different reasons. One was the International Franchising Association, and that was just to meet franchisees to just kind of get my name in that industry. And then while I was there, Remax at the same time had their big, it's called R4. So it's their once-a-year annual kickoff. And I went to go meet with some executives there that a big broker who actually got an award when I was there. He introduced me one. And so I was able to go get a badge and meet
with an award.
Yeah, he got an award for.
Oh, he got an award. I thought you were getting. I was like, why?
Oh, no. He got one. So I took pictures of him getting his award. And then I went and met with the executive that I was hoping to meet with. So Vegas was more of a networking like expedition than it was a speaking thing. So ended up going out there, flew out Sunday, flew back home Tuesday morning because I had to pick up kiddo from her school yesterday. So it was a quick in and out. And then I spoke earlier today at Speakonomics, which is a women's group here that's put on by eWomen's. And so it was for speakers. And my portion was over how can you understanding your crowd differently? What does your body language say? What does their body language say? And of course, facial features, which was on there too. So it was a little bit of a deviation from what I normally do. And then I'm off on Sunday this week to go to Colorado to teach body language and faces to Krav Maga instructors. So that's going to be kind of a fun one because they said, hey, bring your workout gear and we'll teach you some stuff while we're there. So I lowered my fee a little bit. They're actually doing 3 days of training. They're doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I'm not going until Sunday and then right back home on Monday. So a bunch of quick
the body stuff. I've been telling you that forever. You got to do the whole thing. You got to be the whole engagement.
Exactly.
So I created this. This is along this point and I'll get to it.
Yeah.
So about 2 months ago, I interviewed a guy on my Helping the Brave, and he was a speaker. And I looked at his website, and he was like, he did documentaries, a bunch of stuff. And I was like, this is horrible. And while we're doing the podcast, I dropped in and I made some changes, and it was an amazing website. Then I did some more like that Friday night. But I created an AI where it's you to where everything about what you do, you can ask it, and it has it's a gamification thing.
Okay.
To keep you on your website, because that's the most important thing. Going to your social media, going to YouTube, staying watching that. Same thing with websites. The more and longer someone stays there, the better Google think it is and everybody else.
Right.
So
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Are you doing in which AI are you doing it in?
That one I did originally in Lovable, and then I forget which AI it's using. That's still those 2 separate things.
Right. Well, the reason I'm asking is some people are telling Lovable now to start using Gemini since Gemini is starting to replace Google search with Gemini. And so somebody was saying, like, if you're going to do AEO, make sure you're doing a lot of your stuff in Gemini now with Gemini Gems instead of ChatGPT. So Chat still has the highest users.
I don't think they use OpenAI. They don't use ChatGPT when you're building this stuff. They have different ones. They use, and Replit, I use multiple. It knows which one to use by what I'm trying to do. It finds the best one for that at the time.
Well, for the audience people, right? So you know this, but that's what a lot of people don't know is, yes, ChatGPT has the largest mass adoption, right? But now the other ones are starting to catch up. And I think Perry said this like 2 or 3 months ago. He's like, listen, Gemini is late to the game. Don't use them now because they're building. But he goes, when they hit, they're going to hit hard. And that's what we're already starting to see. Adam Lyons, Perry, Belcher, a lot of people are already saying now they'll still keep the ChatGPT, but I think Perry's moves almost all of his stuff over to Gemini Gems now.
And actually, I haven't used much prompting at all.
None? Oh, because you're just talking to Lovable. Yeah.
Well, no, what I mean is because everybody's like prompting AI is gone, all that, because ChatGPT is all about prompting, GPTs, all that.
Yes.
I don't use that anymore. I've learned how to tell it certain things that I want. Let me bring up something. Can I show you something real quick?
Yeah, let's see it.
So let me pop it out. That's what she said.
As I said, please don't.
So a friend of mine that I know through Rotary, I looked at his website and I was like, dude, this sucks. And I'm not going to show you his website because I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
What's all that? How do you, God, it's been so long since I shared anything. I don't know how to share anything anymore. Where'd it go? There it is. Is it in or out? Oh, it's that one. All right. I'm going to show you the one outside of. So I made this website. That's not him. He needs to replace that picture.
Sure.
So this is what I created for him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck it. Maybe I can, let me show you what he had. So you're going to say, you know what? Too bad.
So you can see the change, right?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I wish you could do multiple pages ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could if you do
you'd have to set up different ones at the bottom. Yeah.
Right here. So you can't. No, you can only have one shared screen at one time. So this was his original one, which isn't bad.
No, but it's so stock photo-y. Yeah.
Well, you know why? Look down here.
Oh, there you go.
Goggins for my goggles.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, everybody saw that one. This is what I made. I changed it to, and this took me the original thing. I don't know, 30 minutes. So I changed it to this.
Okay.
Nice, totally nice.
Yeah, good color scheme.
Behind the man. Well, this reminds me of Steve Sims' color scheme.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. It explains about him, all this stuff, how he transforms organizations, which his other one didn't. His training, his speaks, like you can get him on stage and he ignites them. Blah blah blah. And then his Arona method. I'll get to that. What leaders say, ready to transform, and then it should be a newsletter. Down there. And then I created this Arona method for him, which is this.
Okay, so I have a question that's going to sound sarcastic, but it's not meant to be. How does this look to colorblind people since they can't see red?
You can't see red at all?
Well, people who are colorblind can't see red and green, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, well. They'll see no, but if they don't see it, they see shades. Yeah, like my son, he sees shades of gray on everything. Anyway,
what's funny is we have a friend who's a graphic artist who's colorblind.
Yeah, but if you're visually impaired, because I did this with our VA claim bridge, I created the whole site where visually impaired and all the disabilities are handled. If you can't use a mouse and you only do keyboard, it does all that. That's so you can set up all of these after the fact to work on those, to work for those.
Awesome.
People. Yeah. But what is nice is it created all this stuff and then how to connect it, with him. But here's what I want to show you. So I created this type of a, so this is ask him, how can I improve my leadership? You come down here, and it'll give you all this information.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And what I'm thinking is to make one for you. Yeah. So, how can I improve my leadership presence? This is not doing, this is not working now after I fixed it. So forget that. Anyway,
but what you're saying is basically put in like a chat bot where people can ask questions.
Right. This is a difficult, this is a daily challenge that's supposed to come up. Because what I did is I went through and I did a lot of security advancements. Of course, everything breaks when you go to use it. All right. Today's challenge: identify a complex problem your team is facing. Instead of providing a solution, facilitate a brainstorming session. So he's about leadership and management. And so this is set up to do this. Then you can have a weekly challenge. Leadership audit, identify 3 areas, and you go through all these different challenges, and then as you do it, and then you can do your own assessments, right? And you can commit, put when are you committing to get this done, lock in, you have your history of it, then you get awards when you do stuff. You can break in different achievements when you do the first step all the way through your ranks with other people, progress, that's the whole 9 yards. So when this works, the chat stuff, when it works great. But this part, I don't know what the problem is, but you can ask it anything. And
Cool.
and it's based off of, so originally the guy that I was helping was doing something totally different. And then when I added this to Craig, I told it all about Craig, and then it did everything for leadership.
I just had to do this. So we're building with Joel a chat bot inside. So it's the same thing. I had to give it a knowledge base.
This is better though.
Yeah.
This is just the gamification of it.
Right.
How long can you keep somebody on your site with this? This right now is open to everybody, but it has a limit built in so that way, because you don't want to have somebody from, I don't know, Somalia, we'll say, since they've been picked on since the other night from the speech of Trump, that, uses and wastes a lot of your credits and everything else. The other thing I did is I created a blog for him on all the different leadership pillars, management. But what I told the blog, and then it uses real pictures now. Stop using AI pictures.
Yeah, that's the other.
Yeah,
because as soon as you show me his old site, I'm like, oh, that's stock photo.
Yeah, but these are pictures that are free, but they're not AI either. But what's nice about, so it added in the Rona mentoring, how it added in his stuff inside of here, and his Rona constraint protocol. So what I did is, this is when I was telling you, I know what to tell people. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. People don't need to know this. But when I was making the blogs, I went and found all the management leadership gurus of the past and all time, and grabbed all those and said, this is who he is exactly like. Now build blog pages that match these styles. It was a long thing. It wasn't just that easy. And then it created that type of a blog. And then I also used that same stuff to do the Ask Craig thing. So what it is, it's all about keeping people on, people can come to your website and leave, come and go. But this is one way that you could keep them on there, especially if you have them sign up for things. So like you could do an Ask Brian to where they can come to your website, ask everything about you, about what you teach, body language, everything, but have it as a pay behind wall pay. Like $5 a month, you can have access to my Ask me when I'm not available. It's just like me. I put all my knowledge into it, but you pay. Where the one guy had that GPT about you. Well, that's great, but wouldn't you rather have something like this on your site?
Yep.
And so once I created this, I was like, fuck, this is too good to give away. Yeah. And that's why like a friend of mine's like, what are you going to charge him? I'm glad it depends on what he wants on there. This was what I did is I'm pushing to see how far I can push this stuff and see how far it would work. So much that, and it was like, I build them out and then I tell them I'll take care of them. That's the big thing. Cause most people, we did that. We got a website and then they said, when you need something fixed, that's $2,500. That's 2,500, whatever. Well, now I only charge like $99 a month. And so I need to keep track of how many $99. And this also does billing inside the site I built that I haven't showed you, which is the nightsignal.com.
With a K.
With a K. Yeah. Because it's a night, right? It's a protective, not just darkness.
Right.
That's why the name works.
Very cool.
Yeah. And it keeps track of everything on your websites, all your APIs, all the cron job, every job that you have going, that makes sure that happens. And it sends out an email in the morning to what's happened to your site overnight, what's going on. And then I have it set up to where it can call you or text you if you have a major problem.
Who did I used to have my site hosted by? Was it before Cloudflare or somebody else?
Yeah.
I don't remember who we were.
People that we were both at. It was a WordPress site. Yeah. It was I forget who they were. I was at like $2,500 a year for mine because I had something on there.
It was somebody that they would send me a thing like, oh, you got all these people this one day. We're gonna have to boost your storage and everything. Right. And I moved them over to Go High Level and none of that's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I never get any complaints about X many people hit your website, which is kind of sad, or it's that same thing where somebody was charging for it. And now they don't.
Well, here you can set up your API for Google, Cloudflare, any of those ones that you use to keep track of your actual attendance on your site. Also, all in the same place, where these other places don't do that.
Yeah, I'm looking,
but I'm not trying. It's like my shortfuse.io. I tell a few people about it. I don't promote it because I needed it just like I needed this night signal. When you have I didn't realize I have 9 of my own sites.
That's funny.
Oh, by the way, I did find out that when it's hosted on High Level into their WordPress, that even though it's 2 seconds to hit it, it tells you it's 2,000 seconds it's because how WordPress is and how their site is and how they do things, all the stuff I had to learn to do all this.
Right. It's going to drive me nuts who it was. I thought it was Cloudflare before, but somebody was like, oh, you've been hit too many times, but I don't see it.
Cloudflare is good, but it's not, I mean, it depends on where most people host at one place and do something else. I'm trying to see if my API background scanning works and to say what it needs to check on different sites. Because I set it up to automatically scan your site as you set it up. Oh my goodness. Contact lead generation form, authentication portal and sign up flow, schedule routing time sync, bulk integration worker, a developer API, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So it tells me everything. Now, did you add those?
Yeah. Now that you've identified them, what have you done with them? Oh, this is a total side note, but when I was in Vegas, it was kind of funny. Do you know what High Rocks is?
No.
So it's like CrossFit, but way more cardio. So it's like running and like these frog leaps and all kinds of stuff. It was really funny because when I was flying in, they'd had the competition on Saturday. So you see all these super fit people walking around on Sunday. And then Sunday, they also had the rock and roll 5K and 10K. Okay. Thousands of people run up and down the Vegas Strip, which was fun to see people in costume and dressed up and stuff like that. But it's also crazy because they shut down the Strip for this run. So getting around was chaotic. And then at like 4:00 in the afternoon on Sunday, super packed, 10 o'clock, ghost town again. Like it was just really
Vegas?
weird. What's that?
This was in Vegas?
This was in Vegas. So Sunday night was the rock and roll 5K and 10K.
I'm just looking because I just added the thing to I didn't realize all those things were on my stuff, because that was for my short fuse. I can understand all the different issues potential I could have. Oh, now I see a problem because it should add it all under a website, not separately out there. So anyway, what else you got going on? So this is the problem. I'm constantly doing something.
Yeah.
But we're like, you sent me that text on, was that Tuesday and Monday night about the 240,000 real estate agents or whatever that's going to be.
That's when I was at the event, when I was at the Remax. I sent you that. Yeah.
That will be out of the industry the end of this year. I can see that. Just because in my Stanislaus County, we have, probably 36,000 homes or something like that. I forget what the number is. And, we only have 180 transactions a month.
Yeah.
And that's, even if we have full what we did last year, which was 250, you figure a third of that's cash. That doesn't leave a lot of loans for a lot of loan officers. And there's a lot of guys.
Yeah, it was looking, text it before. I was looking to see what I sent you. It was some interesting statistics that they had. They also had at the event, they had James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits. He was one of the speakers. They were going to bring in Vanessa Van Edwards, but she was on Tuesday, and I flew out Tuesday morning to get home because I did get home early in time to make sure I could grab my kiddo from school. But I wanted to see how she's changed because I met her in 2012, I think, something like that, maybe 2014. So it'd be interesting to see her talk now because I see her all over. She's on YouTube, she's on podcasts left and right. But I remember when she was first getting started. And so I was kind of hoping to stick around for that, but it just didn't pan out in the cards.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it was, like I said, it was good because the two host hotels were close to each other. One, the franchising event was at Mandalay Bay. The Remax event was at MGM Grand. So at least they were close. So I could just take the tram and walk a little bit. But I got to talk my way into, like I said, different things. And that was all. I went in and
but talking your way into Remax when a buddy of yours was going to get an award, how'd you talk that in?
I went in and I showed him an email. I said, hey, look, here's one of the people that's supposed to introduce me to one of the executives. I'm here speaking at a different event. How can I get a badge to go in and meet with them? Because I want to meet the person, put a face to a name since I'm here. So I'm not here to speak at this. I'm at another event. What can I do to get access to where she was? And they gave me a badge.
Here you go. Get out of here.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was actually kind of cool. Man,
You
it was
used
funny.
you used your facial recognition stuff.
I
to do
did.
that,
I
right?
used that. I asked, I walked up with like Chris Voss's, where you say the craziest thing up front. And I said, hey, I'm about to be a big problem child, but I'm sure you can help me. So when you do those things up front, instead of just like, please do something. No. So Chris Voss's call it out. I did that. And it all worked. So I got a badge. I went and met with the guy who got the award. I was there. I took pictures, sent it to him. And then he was going to introduce me to the person that we couldn't find her. And then he got invited to a big dinner and I wasn't invited. I thought, I'm just going to go find this person. So I walked around. I saw somebody had a marketing badge. I said, hey, this is the person. Her and I have been trading emails. I'm just trying to meet her. Once I meet her, I'm out. And they're like, yeah, hold on, let me go find her. And so I walked up. We talked for 2 minutes. I said, I know you're busy. I just want to put a face to a name. I'm here for a different event, And then as soon as I met her, I took off. So it was good.
Wow. I assume you use points to get to Vegas.
I know. So I had to fly to my American Airlines status, as a matter of fact. I had to do a mileage run or else I wasn't going to be able to keep a platinum status, platinum pro. So now that you say that, now you kicked off my ADD. Yeah. So it says that I have to earn 298 more loyalty points by Saturday to do it. So I'm sure I'll get there. Even if I have to go buy an expensive dinner.
Go buy something at like Best Buy and then return it when you get back.
Right. Well, what's funny is that my next flight is on the 1st, but it's on the 1st. So I just have to spend 300 more loyalty points.
What's that, $300?
That's almost, there's some restaurants that'll give you double loyalty points. So I'll just have to look and see. That's like 2 martinis. But yeah, it's been an interesting week.
Yeah, and again, I know we've been when we on here last few times, we haven't really been focused on what but this is what's going on. I mean, and when you said that about the 240,000, I told my wife, and I said I'll probably be one of those people.
Oh, really?
She's like, you're gonna get out? I go, well, I'm not dumb enough not to do loans.
Right.
It just won't be it'll be one more source of income.
Yeah, it'll be one of your verticals, not a full
full time thing. Just because because I'm making because once I get enough of these things done that I'm doing, I'm making up on the residuals on a monthly basis. Plus, if the people start using the site, because this site I built for the night, KNIGHT signal.com, it's for when you build out websites for people, how do you keep track of what you're doing for them? Because everybody needs monitoring and all that stuff, and you're going to charge them so much per month. You need to show them that you're doing something to keep them. Most of these people don't show, and they're I added AI. It's AI cost per month. So what?
That's just it. It's the greater good. So I found the quote I sent you, and that is the National Association of Realtors is now anticipating that approximately 240,000 members will walk away by the end of 2026. And that was Kevin Sears, the outgoing president of the NAR.
Yeah. And again, I can see that just because our volume nationwide listings on single family homes was only 700,000 right now.
Crazy.
That's of all 50 states.
Yeah. Interesting.
And California probably has 90,000 of that. And
I was amazed just how many people were there. And I guess I don't even really think about it. The big thing that they announced was like their largest, fastest growing segment was Argentina last year. And they talked about how before they couldn't even have it be in Argentina. So when they first got started, they had one listing and that was it and what it's grown into. But yeah, they were the largest Remax, like in terms of growth. So it's interesting. Steve always told us this, go to conferences that aren't in your industry to see what's working, what's different. And it's very interesting as being a speaker to see the kinds of events and things they do. I mean, they invested, they have an F1 car now that was there. So they were showing that off. They had all these booths. They were giving away so much swag with Remax's logo. There were girls with earrings on that had the little Remax logo on it. You name it, any type of shoes. So all the way from like Michael Jordan's, whatever, high to sweaters, pullovers, you name it. And people were buying this stuff left and right, not even giving it away for free. We're buying it, so it's very interesting to see just how people are in there. And I had a guy I've never heard of. His name was, I think, Michael Berlini. He was out of Ireland, but that's where he's from. But he was a really good speaker. I enjoyed his stuff. So yeah, Michael Buffini, Buffini. He was pretty good. And he only does real estate. And he was teaching people like how to do blitz campaigns, how to just get one more sale a month or a year, but good, funny speaker. And you wouldn't know he was Irish except for he told everybody. And, you know, whenever you hear the threes, it's like when you ask an Irish person, how do you say this? And they go, churchy tree. That's how you could hear he was Irish. But a lot of the rest of it, you couldn't really tell. So kind of fun.
You're picking on him, like, ask him, like, boss him. Can you say park the car?
Yeah. Well, it's like Henry and Steve, right? It's it's not the garage, it's the garage.
Yeah, that's right. It's in the boot.
Yes, in the boot. What's the other one? My buddy from Ireland or from England does. Oh, urinal instead of urinal.
Yeah.
And Adidas.
Yeah. Well,
versus we say Adidas.
It's like my wife when she came from, it was rubbish, not garbage.
Rubbish. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I got the event, spoke at today, got one Sunday. I'll be back on Monday, so we can record on Tuesday. But it's been a busy month from going from when I had nothing in November. It's been a lot, but you know, that's one of the things. Let's talk about this because I think a lot of business people, they look at everybody else as like, people be like, oh my gosh, you're everywhere. You must be crushing it. No, some things I still do for free. Now, this is the end of my February is the done with the free, unless it's something I already agreed to previously, or it's in front of my ideal audience. But some of these things are out there. It's because they're local, they're free, it's exposure for me, it's feedback, things like that. So don't believe just because people are posting pictures that it means they're being paid big bucks. Now, I've made $15,000 for a speech and I've done them for free. So there's entire ranges in there, you know, but I'm done with the frees. Somebody hit me up last week, said, hey, we have this event in March and they're selling tickets to it. And they said, we come speak for free if we pay for your travel. I said, no, because I'm more valuable. I lose 2 to 3 days of time that I could be calling prospects, booking gigs that pay, which, you know, unless it's in the city I want to be in, or it's the right corporation because it's a foot in the door, I'm not doing those anymore. Because you just end up doing it where somebody else is profiting off of, you know, your draw, your expertise, things like that. Now, if you're bartering with somebody for something else, do it all day long. But just because people are busy doesn't mean they're doing business.
Right. So the only people you should do free for is people that you're connected with, that they come to yours and speak at your event, or you're going to their event to speak for free. That's it. Nobody else, because you've lost that time. Because I had interviewed a guy 2 weeks ago on Inter Edison, and he's a coach, and he's he made his first million at 35, and he's made way more than that since then. And he had 67. He's having his better year than the rest of everything. Yeah. And I was telling him what I'm doing, and he was trying to tell me to stop doing this, this, and this. I go, because one of his buddies that's a speech person, he told him, go do this. And he's like, I vibe coded it. I did it myself. He goes, next time pay somebody to do that, because you get paid $25,000 to speak on stage. Exactly. But if you're not speaking on stage, and I told him, here's the thing, I'm sitting watching TV. If I'm doing it, then I'm actually winning, because I'm actually doing something else. Right. Well, I've debated on just getting rid of everything on my TV, because I did buy the master class where you can watch all those. I'm like, I should just be watching educational stuff, not mindless crap. You know, now I would keep Disney and some things because I got a kiddo, but I've been thinking, like, number one, it's death by 1,000 cuts. I was looking at like all my Apple subscriptions. It ends up being like $240 a month. And it's like, okay, do I really need, you know, all these different ones, you know, Hulu and like Amazon Prime, yes, but I've got HBO, Hulu, YouTube, you know, what's Netflix, all those. And I was thinking, do I really need all of those? So that's something I thought about cutting out on, because if I don't have them, then I can't waste time on them. Right. So. And I get that. And when I go to the office, we watch the YouTube stuff on all the veterans benefits. There's this ranger, get caught up on his stuff. And I actually interviewed with him last week. That was a great live. Had a ton of people on that live. I mean, the more I've ever had on there, any live I've ever done. But it's all about him. It's off of his channel, because he's got knowledge. And that's, again, find your perfect client, find out what they're starving for, and give it to them. You know, exactly. And that's the thing. Is the question I have. Okay, websites are here. They're easy to do with AI, and it's putting a lot of people out of business and stuff. A lot of SaaS companies are getting worried now because AI is what it can do, because I can see it. Like I created the shortfuse.io, which is a QR code short URL kind of thing. Easily I did it. And I'm like I said before, a VC told me they got 3 million for somebody a while back to build something like that. Yeah. And then I created this nightsignal.com to watch all my websites, which is there's sites out there called UpRobot and a bunch of other Uptime Robot and a bunch of other ones that I just took what they did and made my own and kept adding to what all the other ones did that I didn't do. And anyway.
I'm very curious to see how that's going to pan out long term. Like, for example, right now, if you're an author, you have copyrights for your books, right? I'm wondering with AI coming in and people saying, hey, I like this, but go make me a version of it for myself. Are we going to start seeing legal coming out later?
Because they're not stealing your code.
Right.
That's
but so would people have to go and patent an idea or a concept?
Can't.
You can't. That's what I was wondering.
That's the problem, because I've talked to the VC and he was an attorney, and he said it's really hard on the software unless it's a unique system that you're doing that you can patent that system.
I gotcha.
So that, and I was like, oh, that sucks. That's like t-shirts, right?
Yeah.
You could have the same logo on your same picture on your shirt that Nike has.
Yep.
But if they put the Nike in it, that's how they protect. So there's no protection on the statement or any of that kind of stuff. Anybody can take that. It's only the logo. So if you incorporate your logo in it somehow, they can't take that, but then they can still take the words. And that's, I was like, really? That really sucks.
And you're not an attorney. You were just relaying what you heard. Just
correct. Thank you.
Protect your butt.
Thank you. Protect me. Thank you. Talk to a trademark attorney, blah, blah.
Exactly.
It's just a trademark person. Because I asked that like probably 3 years ago on one of my inner edisons. Because I had a trademark person, and I was like shocked because I always thought it was patented.
Well, there's spam email that people will send out saying, we've got, and this is how you know it's spam. They'll pretend to be a legal office and they'll say, we've got another client who wants to, use blah, blah, blah. And we see that you use it too. We want to just double check that you don't want to use us to copyright or, your information before this other person does it. Well, that's a conflict of interest for an attorney. They're not supposed to do that. So that's how you know that they're full of it anyway. But it is good to know someone like, we should actually have Andrew Reed on here one time. He is a patent attorney, and he's helped like Greg Reed get a lot of his stuff done. He's working with Secret Knock now, and
let's reach out to him because I'd like to know more about, since we both are. Because how do you protect your flashcard app? How do you protect your other stuff, your body flashcard app?
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll get him on. He's like I said, he lives local in Dallas, and we'll just have a Zoom with him where we can ask some questions.
I wish I was local in Dallas because you have all the fun with all the different places to go where there's none of that shit going on here.
Well, you got Secret Knock if you make the short commute to San Diego.
No, they're sold out.
Oh yeah. Well, but you know Greg, so
no, I don't. I know of him. I don't know him like you do.
Gotcha.
So
I think you remember you.
If you can give me an extra ticket, let me know.
Yeah, I'll talk to you. I'll hit him up and see.
When is that one? March what?
24th through the 26th.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I got to call Todd too, because we got to make up for that one that American Airlines effed me over.
There hasn't been any major stuff here in like the Silicon Valley or any kind of stuff that we used to have. Everything's everywhere else now. There is an AI conference coming to this area later in the year, which is pretty big. But there's multiple of them all over. And so,
well, you know why? I mean, it's crazy. It's travel and it's politics. So the travel part is, if you have somebody on the East Coast, they hate flying to West Coast, vice versa. So that's why more corporations are coming to Chicago, Dallas, Denver, somewhere meeting in the middle. That's one part of it. But then the other part is, when you do any type of work in California, you're not from there, you have to pay the California taxes, and it's nuts. So when they rent out a venue and they spend all this money and they fly all the people there, I think it costs so much extra money to do it in California that's why they're doing them in other places.
Well, I can see that. Plus, San Francisco sucked for so long. Now they're actually finally arresting people for doing drugs on the street.
Yeah,
again.
Well, it was kind of crazy. I thought that when I went to New York 2 weeks ago or a month ago, whatever, that it would be just horrible. And I walked around Times Square and I'm like, oh, this isn't too bad. And I will tell you, took the subway somewhere, and subway's still kind of dicey, And I was one of those things.
You said New York?
Yeah, New York.
Oh yeah, it's totally dicey. They know, but New York's really bad from what I'm hearing right now since the snow. I'm still laughing at the fact that in order to move snow, you have to have 2 forms of ID plus full application. But no, we cannot have any voter ID.
That's the hypocrisy of it all. So yeah,
well, they're going to use that to get that passed.
Yeah. It's just crazy. But
if you need that form of ID to shovel snow, you should have it to vote.
That's the crazy. Just look at all the things that you need an ID for.
I know.
The whole idea is we're literally determining our future. You should have something to say who you are. But anyway, let's skip politics.
Political right now.
Exactly.
That's my other show. All right, take us out.
All right. Once again, everybody, thank you for joining Ed Parcaut and myself on Aces 53. Tuesdays, it's Ed and I. Thursdays, we try and bring a guest every once in a while. That's somebody we call a joker, somebody with a special skill or talent. that we want to learn from and you guys can learn from at the same time. If you feel like you're one of those people, reach out to Ed or I. We'll look about adding you here to the thing. And we appreciate you and your time. And the best way to really support us is to go and like and share the show.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Ed. Bye, y'all.
All right. Make it a great day.